Do you ever feel like you're not enough? You're not alone. Most people feel that way. It is, unfortunately, one of the most common feelings. Most people feel, in some regard, that they aren't enough. That they aren't good enough, or smart enough, or talented enough, or attractive enough, or successful enough, or spiritual enough, or any number of other things. Most of us have this deep, lingering sense of not being enough. But what does it even mean to be enough? The word enough means whatever amount is sufficient. And what is sufficient in any regard can simply be the bare minimum. The bare minimum is literally enough. And so, whatever sense in which you think that you are not enough, are you? Do you not meet the bare minimum in that regard? See, the problem isn't that you aren't enough. The problem is that we tend to have some distorted idea of what enough means. For whatever reason, we tend to think that anything short of perfection is not enough. So if we aren't the smartest person, then we aren't smart enough. If we aren't the most attractive person, then we aren't attractive enough. If we aren't the most successful person, then we aren't successful enough, and so on. Oftentimes, this feeling of not being enough is simply the shame we feel for not being perfect. And it's really sad because you'll never be perfect. How do I know that? Because no one is perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect person, and there never will be. So long as you need to be perfect in order to feel good about yourself, you're never going to feel good about yourself. At some point, you just have to accept yourself as you are and recognize that you're already enough. Or perhaps this feeling comes as a result of being rejected by others. And we assume that it must be because somehow, in some regard, we just aren't enough. Maybe if we were a little more this or a little more that, people would like us more. But the reality is that everyone has different tastes, different temperaments, different interests, and so on. And just because someone rejects you, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're just not their cup of tea. But that doesn't mean that you're broken or defective or inadequate. It doesn't make you any less of a person. In fact, it only makes you more human, because to be human is to be imperfect. And I'm not saying that there isn't room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Given the fact that you can never be perfect, that means that there's always going to be room for improvement. And it's good to want to better yourself. It's good to want to learn and to grow and to evolve as a person. But at the same time, it's also good to recognize that there's nothing wrong with being imperfect. And the most transformative thing you can do is to accept yourself just as you are. Because the belief that you're not good enough actually holds you back in so many ways. When you believe that you're inadequate, it disempowers you. And so you shrink away from life. You don't fully express yourself. You don't apply much effort. You don't try new things. You withhold from doing a lot of things, or when you do them half-heartedly. But you tend to think that whatever you do, it's not going to be good enough. And so maybe a lot of the time, you don't even bother. And as a result, your life begins to reflect this belief. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you don't make much effort, things don't turn out well for you. And because things don't turn out well for you, it confirms that nothing you do is good enough. But when you come to accept yourself, which means to accept that you're imperfect, it frees you up. It frees you from that feeling of shame which is holding you back. And it actually allows you the space to explore and express and to grow. And you might actually discover that you're pretty good at a lot of things. Maybe not perfect, but good enough. By accepting that you aren't perfect, you come to the realization that you're enough. Because enough doesn't mean perfect. It means adequate. It means sufficient. And what does sufficient mean? It means, at the very least, the bare minimum. So you begin to look at yourself and say, I may not be the most intelligent person, but I'm intelligent enough. I may not be the most talented person, but I'm talented enough. I may not be the most creative person, but I'm creative enough. And I don't have to be the best at anything. It's enough to be enough. All I can do is my best. All I can be is myself. And that's enough. If you find value in this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.